Hey everyone, it's Debbie here from emotionallysensitive.com. The new book, The Stronger Than BPD Guided Journal. You guys, I am so excited to tell you about this. There have been requests for me to just go over a little bit about what it's about, how it's different from my first book with New Harbinger, Stronger Than BPD. And I wanted to do this live so you guys could ask questions in real time, and I must have tried 3 or 4 times with Facebook Live and it didn't work, so this is pre-recorded. However, pop your questions down below and I will get back to each of you if you have any questions about the book. So, the Stronger Than BPD Guided Journal. Now, first thing that's different that you might notice from Stronger Than BPD book is that this particular journal was co-written with Catherine Holt. Catherine Holt is an amazing psychospiritual therapist trained in DBT, and she co-facilitates my online DBT classes at emotionallysensitive.com. It was magical working with her, and the energy that we put into this book collectively and as a team, I think is going to be really powerful for anyone who picks it up and really wants to start looking at their intense emotions with lots of self-compassion and curiosity and inquiry. And so what this is all about is it's taking a lot of the concepts that you learned in Stronger Than BPD. Although if you haven't read it yet, you can still get so much out of this. So don't worry if you have just ordered this or you're ordering this and don't have the other one yet. But it's basically building on DBT skills, and then it's asking you to sit and reflect and write a bit. And throughout the book, we're encouraging you to access and get to know what we call your inner wise woman. Now, this book is appropriate for any gender. It just happens to be targeted toward women for a number of reasons. Our publisher decided to go that way. However, we are very aware that people of any gender identity who have emotional sensitivity or who have BPD traits or who want to do something like this could benefit. And so we want to just encourage you, if you're feeling drawn toward it, if you're feeling led to looking at it and reading it and working with it, go for it, okay? So, the journal. I'll give you an example of how it's set up. So, this may reflect backwards, I don't know. It's who is running the show in a crisis. So that's the name of this particular exercise. And the way it's set up is there'll be a goal for the exercise. So in this case, it's identify the parts of yourself that take over in a crisis. Now, all of the exercises are as interesting as this. And the way that they're interesting, I think, is that we don't often sit there and slow this process down of our experience of having intense emotion and what's actually happening and going on. What parts of us are coming up that have needs that are trying to get met. So Catherine and I are extremely compassionate. We understand that even when people choose unskillful behaviors or unhealthy behaviors, that there's some wisdom in that because there's a part of us inside that is trying to get a need met. So when we're in a crisis, in this particular example, the process will be to compassionately look at what part of you or what parts of you come up looking to be heard, looking to be recognized, looking to have their needs met when you go into an emotional crisis. So for me, 9 times out of 10, what I have found is it's my child, right? It's that child part of me that experienced abandonment, that experienced abuse, that experienced rejection. That's the part that tends to come up if there is a crisis. But it may be something different for you, and it may not be the same part or parts that show up depending on what the crisis is about. So you get to explore. So that's the goal. And then what we do is Catherine, from her both clinical and personal perspective, writes a little bit about this particular skill, why we're getting into it, a little bit about the exercise. And then after Catherine does that, I go ahead as your peer educator and as your mentor in the book, as someone who has been through being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and then going into recovery, no longer meeting the criteria, and having a place to teach from that perspective. So I'm your peer, I'm experienced, I have been there, and I'm still emotionally sensitive, so I'm very much in touch and in tune because of that, and because I teach a weekly online DBT class, so I get it. So I'm speaking to you from that perspective. And then we get into the exercise. So there'll be some instruction and an invitation to do something in particular, and then there'll be questions with plenty of writing space. So that's how we do it. The next one is open and listen to your heart. I'll just pick another random one. We had a follower in the UK say, can you please show a little bit of the inside of the book, because we have to wait weeks for it. And I understand that. So the release date is April 1st. However, our publisher released it early, and it's sold out on Amazon. As of the publication of this video, it's #1 in mood disorders. I'm like, this is awesome. This is so awesome that people are picking this up and are going to be doing this work. So, all right, let me just pick another couple just to give you an idea of what the activities are like. What's at stake? Hugely important. When you start to identify what's at stake for you, if you go into your old behaviors again, if you don't start learning and practicing these skills, it can radically change everything, because now you have something documented to reference about why it's important to you to do this work and to move forward. And let's pick one more. Which one should it be? Okay, well, I'll just tell you, how about a chapter? So in part 3, strengthening your emotional resiliency from the inside out. So that's going to be the focus of all of the activities in that section. I feel like I want to give you one more from another section. I love this title that Catherine came up with. A thought is a thesis. So getting into how when we're emotionally sensitive, one of the things that we may not be aware of, or that we may be aware of but struggle with knowing how to address it, is that when we get a distressing thought, when we get an upset thought, when we get a triggering thought, when we get a thought about something from the past or a fear of the future, it can take root and feel so strong and cause us to become emotionally dysregulated. But we're forgetting a thought is just a thought. It's a thesis. So in that exercise, you'll be challenging a distressing thought. So anything else I can tell you about this? Let's see. You can order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, at your local bookstore, pretty much anywhere online. It retails for $16.95, but I'm pretty sure you can get it for a bit less online. You know, this is the list price, but you know how they usually have a lower price online, like on Amazon. And yeah, so the Stronger Than BPD Guided Journal by myself and Catherine Holt. Hope you'll pick up a copy and come back and let us know what you think. Let us know how it impacts you. Let us know any difference it makes in your life to sit with and be with yourself in this new way with your emotional sensitivity from a place of compassion and understanding and psycho-spirituality. So we're looking deeper. We're tapping into our inner wisdom. We're looking to access that inner wise woman or inner wise man, our higher self, perhaps who will be in 20, 30 years. So go ahead and pick up a copy, ask any questions below. I'm super excited, you guys. Thank you for celebrating this with Catherine and I, and I'll see you in another video soon. Visit my website, emotionallysensitive.com. My online DBT classes are starting very soon. Bye for now.